Peace and love to you and yours. This is Uncommon Answer. And on this segment, we're going to be discussing impossible versus possible. Um, be more in depth. Is there anything that is impossible? And if there isn't anything that's impossible, then that must make everything possible. Yet, if there is things that are, then not all things are possible. And the only reason why that is important to start off with is we don't always realize that training and preparation that goes into believing something that is true or even not true. Both ways, preparation, the training, the constant tidbits of knowledge that's given that leads up to that truth or that lie. We must understand that it all starts from somewhere. That seed grows from somewhere, and one of those places are the belief in what's possible and what's impossible, and that belief in just those two alone directs our thoughts and our actions very, very far into our adulthood, where things get concrete. And as they say, it's hard to it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. So, with saying that, I say that we've been, conditioned to believe that nothing is impossible. That everything is within reach. Everything is within our grasp. We just must reach for it. Reach for the stars. As they say, reach for the stars, you land on a cloud. That's the phrase. It's amazing how those little simple words can instill in us a system of belief that guides our mental thoughts, and so on and so forth after that. To believe that there's no impossibilities is to really basically be open to whatever, to basically have your mind stay just open, just ready for anything and everything to fall into, because your limitations are of none as far as you're concerned. You're not limited to anything. You don't have no boundaries. When everything's impossible, when there's nothing that's impossible, you have no boundaries. Right? Let us understand how it all builds up. Let us understand that for something that's what we think is so small is actually a very large, a very big part of who you are. And to further discuss the impossibilities versus the possibilities, I'll be using my main format. It would be this universe space thing that 90% of the population believes in, which isn't there, which is non-existent. And the only reason it even exists is because we're conditioned to believe that all things are possible. And if you've been conditioned to believe that there's no impossibilities, then the sky's the limit, then of course you will be happy to hear that there's more. Of course, you will be happy to hear that there's an abundance of empty space just waiting to be filled. Right? There's always this space. What's up with this void? Everyone's always talking about, oh, I'm trying to fill this void in my life. And we superimpose that on everything else around us, such as space or universe, Milky Way, galaxies, all this BS that's just non-existent. I know that. I mean, it's not a belief of mine. It's not a opinion of mine. I know that. Just to speak on belief, just real quick. I want to say a phrase that's that runs rampant for a long time. It says, if you believe in nothing, you fall for anything. And I want to say that phrase because in that right there alone, it tells you how easily you can be lied to and manipulated, and how things can be reversed and you're not even knowing it. To believe in nothing and you will fall for anything. If you believe in nothing, you will fall for anything. Correct. I believe I said it the wrong way the first time. I think I did, but hey, I'm human, not a robot or agent. So dig it. If you believe in nothing, how is it possible to be tricked into falling for anything? If I don't believe in anything, I wouldn't listen to half the shit a person would say or come out their mouth. And if I did listen to it, I still wouldn't care, because why? I do not believe. So how is it possible to fall? You wouldn't have time of day to trick me. You wouldn't have the time. So how can I fall? So what does that mean? It means it has to be the other way around. Like I said in the beginning. If you believe, then you can fall for anything. Because you believe. And the belief changes as the wind. All it takes is someone to come up to you and say something new and fresh or wise or charming that you haven't heard. And then instantly, what you believed 5 minutes ago, you no longer believe. It's just, it's gone now. Changed, manipulated, mutated, evolved. No matter how you want to put it, it ain't the same as it was before. So it's a difference between believing and knowing. Big difference. Knowing never changes. You can't change something that you know. No one can come up to you and try to persuade you differently on something that you know. And I put that in there. So when I say that, I know. Do it how as you may. I know. It just does not exist. Yeah, space does not exist. Impossible. It's impossible to exist. It's impossible. Well, how is that? How is it possible? What do you mean? Come on. It's wildly understood that NASA, which is why they always in the forefront. Where's China? Where's Russia in all this? Yet, it's widely understood that man can't even get through the radiation belt. For those that didn't know, it's a radiation that's covering the earth, as they say. Okay. Yet, they're saying that this radiation cannot be passed. Lower Earth orbit. They can barely even do that. But this radiation cannot be passed. The radiation can't be passed, and does that solidify the fact that we all know that no one ever touched foot on the moon? Yes, it does. You're gonna have to. You don't see when it comes down to, like I said, it's beliefs. You can believe it all you want. You can believe it any which way you want. But the truth of the matter is that that's just it. Ain't nobody touched that. Whether